If you're going to be building your own house, the first thing you got to do is apply for the proper permits. So what I'm going to do is walk you through the process that I go through every time I apply for one. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This channel is all about building your own house, saving a ton of money. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get notification every time I release a new video, and hammer that like button for me. That's all I ask in return for making this video. So there's a lot when it comes to figuring out what you need to do before you apply for a building permit. So let's get started. Before you apply for your building permit, you need to make sure you already have your property picked out, what the structure is you're building, what your budget is, what subcontractors you're going to need, the whole 9 yards. So filling out the application for the permit is the easy part. And I wanted to say thank you, Todd Garber, for giving me your input on my community post, and you said you'd like to see a video about the building permits. So that's what this is going to address. Again, thank you. So now let's get into some details that you need to do for your building permit. Keep in mind while watching this video, not every jurisdiction is going to be like this when it comes to applying for your building permit. Some areas might require something totally different. Also, be sure to check with your local planning office to see if you can even build the house yourself without having a contractor sign off on everything. Just do that before you even get started, so that way you already got that part out of the way. So in my jurisdiction, I can do everything myself, but again, not everywhere is like that. In order for me to acquire the building permit application, I gotta go to my local planning office, and that's where I'm gonna pick up the documents I gotta fill out to return to them. And also while I'm there, they're gonna ask me, am I gonna have town water and sewer, or is it gonna be a well and septic? Then I let them know either or which one it's gonna be. And in this case, in the house I'm building here now, it was town water, town sewer. So I had to get a letter of availability faxed over to the planning office while they were waiting for me to return the permit application. So that's something you're going to have to consider. And if there was a septic being installed on the property, I'd have to have a perk test done to make sure the property perked and what kind of class system I'd need for my septic system too when I go to fill out this application. So again, everywhere is going to be different. Check with your local building codes and your planning office to see what you need to do. So now what I want to do is go over what exactly is on this application. So we're going to go to the whiteboard and we're going to see what's on it. Here is all the information that they want me to fill out when I fill out my building permit application. So we're going to go over building permits here. And what they want me to do when I first get the application is who am I? So the applicant, and then the property owner info. So since I'm doing a self-build, I'm the property owner and the applicant. So if I was a contractor building for somebody, so I would be the applicant, and then I would put their information in this section. So the next thing they're going to want to know is this application for someone that's doing a self-build, or am I a contractor? So like I already mentioned, I do the self-build part. And are there going to be any subcontractors involved with my self-build? And if there is, I got to list their license number and all that jazz and their info. So that way they have that on record on who was the subcontractor on the structure. And then the next thing they're going to want to know is the structure info on the structure info form. So this goes over, is it commercial, is it residential, the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, are we building a house, are we building a garage, and a bunch of different details. Is it stick build, dimensions, estimated cost, heating source, etc., and even expected date of completion. So all that's going to be part of this info form, the structure info form. The next form is the construction detail form, and this consists of about 25 questions that involve things like what are the details of the footers as far as the depth of the footers and the width of the footers, foundation height, roof rafter sizes, water pipe sizes, what amp service we're going to be using on the structure, we have to put GFI outlets, etc. So all that's going to be placed into this construction detail form. It's just a big questionnaire. The next form after that is the typical wall section labeling form. So this really is a drawing of a section of the wall, and we just got to label parts of it to what we're going to be doing, such as insulation, etc. So this one is pretty simple to fill out. Next, they'll want to see a copy of the electrical and plumbing plans. So what I do, I just go through with my rough drawing of the house and place everywhere where there's going to be an electrical outlet, etc. And as far as the plumbing plans go, they just want to see where all the fixtures and everything's going to be. This takes a little time, but it's not too bad. But it's probably the worst part of the whole application, I think, is just coming up with your electrical plan and plumbing plan. So just set aside a little time to do that. And then after that, they want to see the window and door sizes. So again, I'll just take the rough drawing of the house and put what I'm going to be doing for the windows and doors across the drawings. So this one's not too bad to do. It's actually fairly simple. And then they'll also want to see a drawing of the structure on the property. So how many feet away you are from property lines, how many feet away the structure is going to be from other structures, etc. So this one's not too bad, but it does take a little bit of calculating from the size of the structure and how big the lot is, etc. And then after waiting for about a week, I'll get a big, beautiful building permit. This is typically yellow, and it'll say what county, and then it'll say building permit right under it, and then it has building permit number. So I have to use this number every time I call in an inspection, who the owner of the structure is, the contractor that's building it, and again, both of these are the same in my case, and what type of construction, whether it's a new build or a remodel or whatever, and then the location, and then when it expires. Here, a building permit lasts about a year, which actually it is exactly a year. Let me take that back. And this has to be displayed at the site. So at the entrance of the site, you have to have this to where it's visible so the inspector can locate it. Here's how much a building permit costs where I'm building. So if the build costs between $0 and $13,000, it's going to cost $25. So with that being said, clearly a house is going to cost more than $13,000. So how do we take care of that? Well, it's going to be $2 per thousand that's anything above $13,000. So to make the math simple, here's an example. Say it's going to cost me $213,000 to build a house. So if you have the $25 for the first $13,000, so that's going to give us $25, and then it's $2 per thousand for the $200,000. So that's going to give us $425 for the building permit. But there's more to it than just that. Where I'm building, I also got to pay for inspections at the time of the building permit. So for a house, and of course it's not going to be this much for a simple deck or something, but for a house, for all the footings, all the final inspections, etc., so it's going to cost $500 roughly for that. So then that gives me a grand total of every time I build a house, I have to spend about $1,000 to build the house as far as permits and inspections. So $925 is a grand total for a house that costs $213,000 to build in my area. If you want to see how I plumb a bathroom, check out this video. It'll help you out.